cleared of any wrongdoing by a scientific report. And as far as we know with that, accepted by the Texas Athletic Commission. What was your reaction to the news regarding Dillian?
I'll be honest with you, when it first came out, I was in shock. I was with you. I was with Dillian for 2.5 years out in Portugal. And honestly, him and his team are so professional. Like, you can't touch anything without it being overseen by the team. Like, it's you know, there was nothing in the whole time I was there to suggest that something like that could happen. You know, that team is very professional, you know, and Dillian, I mean, he's wanted that Joshua fight for so long. I mean, why would you take that kind of gamble now when you finally got the fight you want? It didn't make any sense to me. Obviously, I'm not part of that team anymore. I haven't been since he had the Franklin fight. You know, he's gone with Bunny McGirt. You know, one of my favorite trainers. I think he's great. He was a great boxer as well. So I think it was a good link up. Dillian wanted to train over there, and yeah, I just can't believe this actually happened. But you know what? Listen, if he's been cleared to box now, that's great. We need Dillian back in the division. You know, he's one of the big names in there. And obviously with this, with the influence in Saudi and so on, with all these big fights coming up right now, you've got Zhang, you've got Joyce, Parker, you know, Wilder. There's so much options for him out there, and everybody would like to see him in with any of those guys because Dillian will always give you, you know, a good fight. So I'm glad he's back, and yeah, you know, honestly, praise to him, and hopefully, you know, he can kick on with his career. You know, he hasn't had it easy, and hopefully this will be the last blip, and hopefully he can just get on with his career now and just fight because he just likes to fight.
I think it's probably unclear at the moment whether he will be able to fight here on the UK shores, as it was by the Texas Athletic Commission he was cleared. Do you see him being able to get back into the sort of position he was in when he had that Joshua fight ready and waiting?
The strange thing about the heavyweight division is you're just one win away from a big fight. You know, it just seems like the other divisions you've got to work really hard to get back to where you were. But with the heavyweights, you know, the guys in the top 10, you know, it looks like they're all looking to fight each other now. So I think Dillian, if he wants to have a comeback fight, he can. If not, he can just jump straight in. You know, Dillian doesn't take easy fights anyway. So yeah, I think he can just jump straight back into the mix. I obviously I don't know the full extent of what's exactly happening and, you know, where he can fight and so on and so forth. But I'm just glad that he's back, and you know, he loves the sport, and you know, he knows the division inside and out. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be talking about some good matchups. I mean, even Derek Chisora with a third fight. I mean, while I was in camp with him, it wasn't a fight that excited me at the time, but now it seems like that would kind of make a lot of sense. But yeah, you know, good luck to Dillian, honestly. So, you know, Dillian's a good guy, a fun guy to be around.
No, I was pleased with Dillian because one of the boys in the gym told me today. So was over the moon for him. Brilliant. Not too sure what he's got left. And I personally had 11 straight wins with him, unbeaten. And so I had fun with Dillian. We had fun together. And him and Andy's team, they were good fun, and we had a good journey together. So I was over the moon for him, for Dillian for sure. Yeah. So one of the boys in the gym told me today.
You talk about there, you're not quite sure what he has left. This time out the ring has obviously taken time away from his career. What is there left that he will want to achieve? He'll obviously want a world title. Do you think he's still capable of meeting with those top names in the heavyweight division?
Well, it didn't quite get there at the top level. He was just under that, wasn't he? Wasn't he? And there's big fights for Dillian Whyte for sure. I mean, he can sell out the O2. He's done it a number of times, so there's big fights for him. I'm not too sure if he would be ready. One of them fight for the boys coming up and coming through. So I think I know Dillian like that. He wouldn't want to be of that sort of fight of that caliber, but there's big fights for him. I'm sure he's been to Saudi Arabia once. I'm sure he wants some more of that. He was on the first. We both was out there as atoms together. So I'm sure he wants a piece of that action again. But who knows? I don't know. Listen, there's some good fights for him. I'm sure Josie Parker might want a rematch with Dillian Whyte. That's a good fight. There is good fights out there for Dillian because Dillian brings something unique that, you know, other fighters still don't bring to the table. What Dillian does, you know, entertainment-wise. Yeah, so be interesting to see what him and his team have in store for him, for sure.
In the last 24 hours that Dillian Whyte has been cleared of this, you know, drug test failure. We know the Conor Benn situation to, you know, an exhaustion. Does this raise questions as to how we should deal with an adverse finding? If, you know, that used to be an anomaly. Like, you would assume a guy was guilty because they never get overturned. But now this seems to be something that we have to question.
I think there's a lot of talk lately about what goes into foods in general. And the reality is that you can ruin someone's career by them making an innocent mistake. Not even a mistake, really. It's not even, I mean, so I wasn't across the Dillian Whyte situation. I haven't spoken to him since the August of last year. And now he's got an opportunity to get back into this mix. But contamination is real. It's not something that people just make up for an excuse. Conor Benn got cleared through contamination by the WBC. Dillian Whyte got cleared of contamination from the Texas Commission. I don't know what the board stance is on that, but still, like, it is, we really should give people the opportunity to go through that process. And when they do get cleared, people never believe them. Like, Dillian Whyte's going to get criticised now for the rest of his career, just like Conor Benn, even though they've both been cleared. So it is what it is, but you've just got to get on with it. And I don't know the answer. You know, you could say, oh, an athlete needs to be more careful about, but at the same time, if something's in something that he's ingesting that is not on the banned list, then, you know, where do you draw the line?
He's missed out on 2023 heavyweight boxing in Saudi, obviously this card, but the AJ fight, which is huge for England, it was a big opportunity for Dillian that apparently he was unjustly denied. Is that potentially now something that is still in the works for him?
If we beat Ngannou, then we just want the undisputed fight. You know, he may fight Hrgovic for the world title in the middle, but that's really the only fights that we're looking at. But who knows down the line? You know, if AJ can win undisputed or win another world title defence against Dillian Whyte, who knows? But for Dillian, he'll want to get straight back in the mix, you know, see if he can get himself out here.